With earnings of 55.8 billion naira in 2014, when compared with earnings of $55.5 billion in the same year from the petroleum sector, Nigeria's solid mineral sector is yet to pull its weight as a major source of foreign exchange. Kayode Fayemi, Nigeria's Minister for Solid Minerals, has put together a roadmap which he believes will help the sector raise its contribution from 0.3% of the GDP to at least 10% in the immediate future. Will he deliver on this target, or will this be just another pipe dream? Everyone, welcome to Hard Copy, the program that will bring you the people behind the news. I'm Maokbe Ogun. The diversification of Nigeria's economy has been the subject of discussion for decades. The discussion has become even more pressing in the face of a recession caused in part by weak oil prices. Nigeria is looking towards agriculture and its solid mineral sectors as alternatives to its revenue from crude oil. Dr. Kayode Fayemi is my guest tonight, and we examine just how much progress is made in the direction of harnessing Nigeria's solid minerals potentials. Dr. Kayode Fayemi, you're welcome to Hard Copy.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Well, just quickly, do you think that this is quite lazy, the fact that we keep looking to the extractive sector to save us from, or to be as a source of foreign exchange for us?
Well, yes and no. I personally believe that our greatest strength lies in the human capital of our country and the creative abilities of our people. But yes, because God has endowed us with these minerals, and we've got to do something useful and that is beneficial to our people with what we've been endowed with. We cannot continue to ignore the fact that we have them. Others are utilizing the same resources for the benefit of their people. So why not Nigeria? As long as we do it in a safe and environmentally sensitive manner without any detrimental implications for the population. There's no reason why we shouldn't be beneficiaries of our extractive endowments.
But it's taking so long. I mean, Nigeria's crude oil did not take this long to harness. 1958, Oloibiri was founded. Before you know what's happening, oil was found in Oloibiri, and the big companies came. Nigeria was said to have potentials for solid minerals. In fact, we have a state whose slogan is the home for solid minerals.
Yes, that's
and yet it would seem that it's taking forever to be able to harness this potential and make it something that we can truly export.
That's the lesson of history, but we must not become slaves to that lesson. The reality before 1958 that you talked about was that solid minerals and agriculture were the mainstay of the Nigerian economy. Solid mineral used to hover around 4 to 5% of the GDP up till the 70s. So there's no question, if we were able to do that in the colonial times and up to the 70s, if we put our mind to it, there's no reason why we could not return to that. It may not earn us as much as oil has earned us, but I want to tell you that the resources available to Nigeria in the solid mineral sector is actually quite as large, if not larger, than what we have in the hydrocarbons field.
So some people might say that we understand why the agriculture sector died, but it will be very difficult to understand, why solid minerals or, extraction, mining will die off. Isn't it the same extraction, crude oil and mining as well?
Well, yes and no. Crude oil extraction is a bit more easier to do, and it requires a few or more people to do it because it's something that has been done over time. Yes, mining is as old as livelihood itself. Since time immemorial, people have been mining. But don't also forget that accompanying our deterioration in mining was the indigenization decree. When we had the indigenization decree, the drivers of the mining sector in Nigeria in the 60s and the 70s and up till the early 80s were actually the English miners, primarily focusing on the Jos area and in a range of other areas where the Nigerian Mining Corporation had interest and tenements. But when that happened, there wasn't sufficient time to train local miners beyond the artisanal level to be able to rise up to the occasion. The smelter that we had in Jos, the Makeri smelting plant, deteriorated and is no longer functioning now. So you can argue that, yes, it's the same extraction, but it's not the same product. So
we've come a long way from that time.
We have.
And you talked about how before now, the work that has been done has resulted in enabling laws. I think the Mining Act
clearly.
of
in the last decade, the work that was done by the Obasanjo administration resulted in the 2007 Mining and Minerals Act. And that act can compare with any around the world.
What is still in the way? What is still in the way of ensuring that the right kind of investment is made in that sector?
Well, two things. Investors look out for stability and predictability. Unfortunately for us, the reform in the mining sector is not always aligned with the electoral timetable. Electoral timetable is 4 years, and things change over that period. What you need stability over a 25-30 year period before the green shoots of mining turn into reality for the investors. And investors are wary. We're competing with countries that are already established in the sector, even in West Africa. But the geological formations are very similar. What you have in Ghana is what you have in Mali, is what you have in Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and all of these countries have advanced a little bit further than we have done because they are also spending more money on exploration. Mining is about what you can find. It's not a guesstimate. It's a scientific initiative.